Hello everybody and welcome back to the Farming Simulator 25 map guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Alps. But before that, this video is brought to you by Matthew Young and Soul Farmer. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Alps map can be found at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now, I do have to wonder, how accessible for consoles is this map going to be, given the large size of the map and the fact that we have 2 required mods, which is going to make the download just a little bit bigger. So those required mods are the animal transports and a slurry tanker, some vehicles and implements, a required mod for a map. I gotta wonder, are they really going to be required? Because do they really bring anything more to the table than what we might already have in game? I'll let you all to speculate on maybe why they're there. Let's go ahead and read you some of the description. This map has 31 fields. The average field size is 2.1 hectares, and we're looking at a total of 5 forests. Water can be taken from the river or lake or the small pond near the farm. The Alpine is a retro map of highly successful Erlengrat from FS19 and 22. Now revised for FS25, look with many new models and productions that once again immerse you in the Alpine agriculture. The many small fields to medium-sized fields and forests are equipped with the latest props and trees, allowing you to experience the fun of FS25 in the Alps. The popular cheese collectible is also back, and Wonderful Animal Dealer, now accessible, is also back. A new starting farm with some new buildings is part of the FS25 look, as well as a ski area with real skiers that transport you to the world of the Alps. Now, with all that said, let's jump over here to the map and, well, give it a look. So if we take a look and pull up the PDA, anyone who has played Erlengrat from FS19 or 22, I think you're going to find this PDA very, very familiar, because overall, there's not a whole lot of changes going on with respect to the overall field layouts, the road network, and a lot of the sell points or other key structures are still here on the Alps. Now, we do have all of our standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 25 available on this map, so all of that has been brought forward. And we also are going to find that if we take a look at our precision farming soil map, we do have a custom precision farming soil map. And it's kind of interesting in the fact that every grouping field or every standalone field pretty much has all the different soil types associated with it. I just kind of found that kind of interesting. Now, with respect to our starting farmland, should we choose to own the farm at the start, we'll start out by owning Farmland ID 50. That is going to be the main starting farm, and it's going to be equipped with chickens, sheep, goats, and horses. We also are going to have Farmland ID 51, which is going to have a field and a little bit of a forest. And right across the street, while we don't own it, we have Farmland ID 54, which again is a little bit of forest and a nice bit of grass, again, right across the street. This is going to be the only farm that is going to be pre-placed on this map, but there are other areas that you may go and decide to convert a field over, or other areas that you may just level a little bit and build out a secondary farm, or fire this thing up in multiplayer, and then they can build out something somewhere else. With respect to our crop counter, we do have the standard FS25 crop counter available to us again on this map. As far as our animals go, we have 1 horse, we have 6 sheep or goats, and we're going to find 3 chickens again here at our starting farm. We do have contracts available to us, and we also have our new FS25 contracts like wood transport, stone crushing, and the dead trees. As far as productions go, we have 11 productions pre-placed, and we do not own any at the start. We have the sawmill, we have a bakery, we have a biogas plant, we have a cereal factory, concrete plant, we have a cheese factory that's also kind of serving as a dairy, we have a carpentry, we have a chocolatier, which is going to be specializing in chocolate. We've got a mill, and then we also have a tailor and a spinnery. With respect to sell points, we do have approximately 10 sell points scattered around this map, including a train sell point in Felsburn. And again, anyone who's familiar with FS19 knows that that was the European map that was a part of the base game. As far as our vehicles go, we're going to take a closer look at that here in a little bit. But should you choose to not own the farm, you also not have any vehicles. Well, in fact, you'll also not have any buildings either, because you'll have a completely blank slate to start. We do have those 12 cheese wedges, as I've previously mentioned. Let's go ahead and make our way up here to our farm. And then we'll take a look at our starting machinery. So here we have our starting farm. We pull up our garage menu. You will see that we start out with a decent listing of starting machinery. We have the Rigitrack SKH60, the Fendt 314 Vario, and the Fendt 516 Vario small tractors. We've got a pair of front loader arm, and we have a bucket, pallet fork, and bell spike for the front loaders. We've got 3 trailers and a pair of EDK 650 and the Brantner Z18051/2 XXL Power Flex trailer. We have the Eco Cultivator 300 and the Pottinger Servo 25 plow to do our field work. We have the VE 8000. Remember, that is going to be one of the required mods that are included here. Maybe a little bit, debatable as to should that really be a required mod or not. We have the Fendt 5275 CSL harvester, and this particular harvester is the variety that will do self-leveling, so a perfect harvester for these hilly fields in the Alps. We've got the 25-foot free flow grain header, as well as an 8-row Capello corn header. And for those headers, we have the Nardi N40BX header trailer. For our grass work, we've got the GA 4731 windrower, the Boss Alpine 251 forage wagon. We also have the Alpine HIT 4.4H tedder, and then we have the GMD 3123F front mower. We got the Massey Ferguson 1840 small square baler, and then we have our other required mod with the International Series 200 pickup truck that is equipped as an animal transport vehicle, and then the Bachmann Big Master Western WCF horse trailer that will actually still transport cows, pigs, and sheep, in addition to horses. We've got our ABI 550 water trailer, and then we wrap it up with a pair of 600 kilogram front weights. Again, if we take a look at our mods and DLCs, you'll see this map does not have any custom vehicles or implements, but we do have those 2 required mods flagged down here. Everything can be sold on our starting farm, should we wish to completely remove everything, with the exception of this fence that does run along the edge of the road. We've got our sleep trigger here at the front door. We have our wardrobe trigger over here at the side garage. We're going to find a water trigger and then a fuel point. We have our starting vehicles. Got some of our machinery. We do have bale storage, and that's going to be a shed right here. And we have 9 bales already. We have 3 grass, straw, and hay bales. And those are going to be the small square bales. We have a chicken coop, so we have our egg spawn point. We have our buy point for our chickens. 200 chickens in total can be found here. We have water trigger and a food trough for our chickens. Moving down the row, we're going to have now our sheep and goats. So we have, again, 6 sheep or goats already. And we're going to have a total of 43 in this pasture. We have our milk and wool spawn point. We do have a food trough. And we can also come over here and raise and lower this nice sunshade. Now the sheep and the horses are going to offer slurry. So we have our slurry point there for our sheep and goats. And we have our slurry point here for those horses. We've got our animal transport pickup truck and trailer. Then inside we're going to have our straw point. We're going to have our food trough and our delivery point for our horses. We have 1 horse, and we can have a total of a nice even dozen. We make our way back around the loop here. We've got some more vehicle and implement storage. We have a pallet storage. This is going to be able to hold up to 300 pallets. We have slurry storage. We have our farm silo system with our dump and fill point. And note that this is a fairly low pipe. So again, you're going to want some kind of low trailers for this particular setup. And then we do have a manure heap here for our horses. Last big structure we're going to take a look at is a series of sheds that are put together here to make one large area for our bigger machinery, or maybe additional bale storage if we go and fill up the small bale storage. And that's going to be your starting farm. Again, everything here can be sold, so it's a nice area where you could go and build out some other things. And then right across the way, we have our starting field in field 41. As I mentioned, we could buy the area right across the street. Will give us some nice forest that we can work on, and a nice grass meadow as well. Now, if we take a look at our build mode, given the size of this map, we would expect to see a fair number of custom things in build mode, and we do have several buildings, sheds, and the like that are a part of this map, and we will find them here. So if we do choose to not own the farm, all of these buildings will be gone, and we'll be able to place them down. And we do have access to many of those that are included. With respect to our sheds, we have then our silos, our bale and pallet storage. We have our silo extensions. And then if we take a look here at our factories, we're looking at all fairly standard factories. So it would have been nice to have seen the ability to pre-place additional custom factories that are part of this map. And then we do have some custom animal buildings as well that are built in. So we see those all the way across the board. And then if we take a look at our ground textures, we do have a nice assortment of ground textures that we can paint. We have several trees that have been added here also, part of the map. And then we've got fairly standard shrubbery with a couple wildflowers and other paintable things going on here. Again, part of the map. So nice to see those things have been added. Now, as far as sell points and productions go, let's go ahead and just make our way over here to the kind of northwest corner. We do have a train sell point, so we do have a train track, and that's going to be located right there. So we have a sell point off the map there. And then we'll have another sell point off the map with respect to the far eastern edge. We do have our ammo dealer located here. And I went ahead and opened this door because to go inside is where we're going to find our actual animal trigger. And then on the back side of this building, we're going to find the ability to have a bale sell point. Our cereal factory is actually located right here, which is kind of interesting because we do have a train dump point here at our cereal factory. We also have a trailer dump point at our cereal factory. We have our pallet spawn point and our interactive icon. Across the waterway, we're going to find our fuel stop. And we're going to make our way now up in the hills a little bit because we have one of our custom factories up here in the cement plant. So we have an output pipe there. We have an interactive icon over here. We have a dump point, and then we have a pallet spawn point. If we make our way further up the hill, again on the kind of western side of the map, we're going to come to a sell point. This sell point was basically part of Erlengrat in FS19. So again, anyone that's put some time in on this map is probably going to be well familiar with this particular area. Another custom aspect to this map we're going to find is our sawmill. So we have our dump point, we have our wood cell trigger, we have our interactive icon. We're going to find our unload point for our wood chips as well, and our pallet spawn point. A pretty cool area here. Continue to make our way up the hill as we make our way kind of towards the town. We're going to find a biomass heating plant cell point. Right there. We can come over here to this hotel overlook, and that's where we're going to find another cell point. Around the back. This is a great place to come and just check things out at night. Making our way into town, we do have a rent train trigger here at the passenger terminal. Let's make our way into town now. And I just wanted to point out one of our cheese wedges right here at the church door. We have our cheese factory. So we have our dump point here. When we collect cheese wedges, well, they're going to show up there. We have our vehicle shop located right here. So we have our vehicle dealership. Let's go ahead and get something just to see where it's going to spawn. And then we have our dealer trigger here for buy, sell, trade, and repaint. The modest size area for, again, the modest sized fields on this map. Not that big of a deal. We do have a decent sized area for our vehicles to come in and out of the shop as well. In behind us now, we have the chocolatier. We're going to go inside the structure here, and we have our dump point, our pallet point, and our interactive point. We're going to find a grain cell point located here. Well, specifically, this is going to be our grain train transport silo. So we have our dump and fill point. And we have our train transfer, dump, and fill point. Here we have our spinnery. And our bakery located right here. So we have all of our triggers, our dump point, our pallet point, and our interactive point. Let me just pull up the PDA just to make sure that we've hit all of these hot spots. So we have our chocolatier, we have our bakery. We do have a fuel point by the vehicle shop. We didn't touch on that. We have our supermarket right by our tailor. Then we have our chocolatier and our train silo. So here we have that fuel point right by the dealership. And here we have our supermarket in behind our tailor. with our dump point around the back by the loading docks. We have a grain sell point located over here. This is also set up as a buy point where we can buy goods. If we go across the bridge, kind of on our side of the map, we've got our carpentry. And then further down the road, we're going to find a second production in our spinnery. We follow the road along the winding river. We're going to make our way over here to the biogas plant. So we have our digestate output. We have our digester. We have our input for our slurry. And we have a nice three-sided silage bunker right over here at the far kind of eastern side of the map. Again, this is where we're going to also have our train sell point, should we choose to make use of that. This is going to be a logistics center, and we have a sell point here for all types of various produced products. And the description talked about a ski area, and we've got our ski lift located right here. And we can make our way up the ski slope to our lodge. And the lodge is also going to be a sell point. It's going to be located right there. And then we can make our way down the winding road. All of this grass could be bought, so all of this could be cut and harvested. Ideal for that biogas plant. And we're going to make our way back over here to our starting farm. And that is going to be the Alps. Again, anyone familiar with Erlengrat from FS19 or 22 is going to find this map very familiar. There are some custom tweaks and changes, but overall the lay of the land is going to be the same. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to this map. Did you like playing on Erlengrat back in FS19 or 22? I do know that I did a fair bit of gameplay on it when it did come out. I believe it was an expansion map in 19, and therefore it was part of the base game in 22 as well. And it's nice to see this map, for me, make its way back as a mod map to give players overall a little bit of variety. Until next time, happy farming.